How you doing there, folks? Been some interesting times in the men's human rights movement of late, and some of those times are including me. Those interesting times revolve specifically around an alleged journalist by the name of Jeff Sharlet, who works for GQ, among other organizations, and some university where he allegedly teaches journalism of some sort. Sharlet made some claims in his GQ article. We'll get to them. First, I got a little bit of a preamble. All of the following in the video is mine, and mine alone. It has nothing to do with any organizations I may be a part of or represent. Any or all of this video posted on a website or by an organization does not imply endorsement or promotion by said organization or website. This is strictly mine alone, and I am responsible for it 100%. So recently, Jeff Sharlet wrote an article for GQ. I'm kind of thinking maybe his wife, the gender studies teacher, might have wrote it for him, but it's his name that's there. It wasn't any different than 99% of the articles written by the mainstream media about the men's human rights movement, and I wouldn't pay much attention to it, except for three things. First, I got mentioned in it. Second, it got picked up by some radio station. And third, if what Sharlet wrote is accurate, it would constitute a threat against my ex. Now, the MHRM has a strict policy against the advocacy of violence, and I support that policy 1,000%. And if this were any other person, I would want to know either way. I would want answers, and I'm sure you would want those answers as well. Now, I say Jeff is lying. I say Sharlet is lying. And I am so sure of this that I've tried really hard to get this to go to court. I mean really fucking hard. Multiple times I tried to get somebody in the Ontario government to believe Sharlet. The CBC believed him and could have reached out to me, but instead they chose to go and try and use back channels. My name is on the masthead at The Voice for Men. There's an email there. CBC could have emailed me there, but they chose not to. From what I understand, they ended up going to a third party and getting a hold of an old email address of mine. So much for CBC being interested in the truth about things. So yeah, the local police and the Premier of Ontario don't believe Sharlet. They believe me. They believe Sharlet is a liar. But maybe what feminists say about patriarchy theory is correct. And it's alive and well in here, Ontario, Canada. The proof that the patriarchy is alive and well in Ontario, Canada, is that Kathleen Wynne, the Premier of Ontario, who just launched a Violence Against Women initiative, and the Hamilton Police, who has a zero tolerance policy on domestic violence, and they've had it since 2004, knowing about Sharlet's investigative report, where he claims I said something against my ex, and they're not arresting me. It would actually constitute, as far as I'm concerned, if accurate, it would actually constitute a threat against my ex, and that's a crime under 264.1 of the Criminal Code of Canada. But again, patriarchy is alive and well, Ontario, Canada. Domestic violence has been written about by an alleged expert, Mr. Jeff Sharlet, and it's not being believed. So I'm going to suggest that Mr. Sharlet call the Hamilton Police, report the domestic violence. Jeff, I'll give you a hand. Phone number is 905-546-4925. Give him a call. Give him the evidence. Take a domestic violence abuser off the streets. That is unless you know that what you wrote was a lie. So we're still left with those questions. I want answers. So I'm willing to put my freedoms and liberties on the line. Take this to court. Feminists, call the Hamilton Police Services, 905-546-4925. Report the domestic violence that Jeff Sharlet wrote about, and let's go to court. That way we'll know if Sharlet is the next Stephen Glass or not. Till then, I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing, which is exposing feminist lies for profit.